we are back looking at x and y intercepts today. One of the things we learned last video is if they give you an equation, how to find the x and y intercept. So of course we have to reverse this now. Now if I give you the graph, can you figure out the x and y intercept? Well, this is pretty simple to do. We simply look for, let me get a red pen, there we go. On the x-axis, this line intercepts the x-axis right here. And that would be our x-intercept. And that is over 2, up 0. So the x-intercept should be 2, 0. That's our x-intercept. And we follow the little blue line, and we notice it cuts off right here, the y-axis. So our y-intercept is, let's see, we go over 0 and drop down 1, so it would be at 0, -1. There you go. All right, let's take a look at what they have and check it out. We have an answer. The graph crosses the x-axis at 2, 0. And so the x-intercept is 2. The graph crosses the y-axis at 0, -1. So the y-intercept is -1. All right, let's give it a try. You guys, pause your videos and try this question. Identify the x-intercept and the y-intercept. Welcome back. Where does the line cut off the x-intercept? Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 backwards, so that's a -4. And the y-intercept cuts it off at 2. Ta-da! -4 for your x and 2 for your y. All right, let's take a look at how we could use the x and y intercept in real life. Not that you're all going to be wedding coordinators or anything, but there you are helping. Oh, this is an awards banquet, sorry. You are helping to plan an awards banquet for your school. You need to rent tables to seat 180 people. Tables come in 2 sizes. Small tables seat 4 people, large tables seat 6 people. This is a situation can be modeled by this. 4 people, 6 people tables, 180 people going. Find the intercept of the graph of the equation. So you're going to be putting a 0 in here, figure out what it equals, put a 0 in there, figure out what we get for your x-intercept. Graph the equation, give 4 possibilities. So let's take a look at how it first. Let's make sure we can get our x and y intercepts. We've been practicing these. So if I put a 0 in for y, that means I'm going to get my x-intercept. So if I divide both sides by 4, voila, x is 45. The y-intercept, put a 0 in for the x. Remember, it's always the opposite variable. 6y equals 180, divide both sides by 6. The y-intercept is going to be 30. Like, why do I need to know these intercepts other than to graph? Well, let's take a look. Go ahead and graph the equation. Once you graph it, any combination of tables along this line that intercept it in the background perfectly will allow us to know how many tables of 4 and how many tables of 6 we can have. So, let's take a look. Here we go. Find the number of tables for this problem. Only whole number values of x and y make sense. You can see that the line passes through these 4 points. So 4 possible combinations. The whole reason we're doing this is to get an idea of what we could do in real life for our table combinations. We drew our line. Now, what this indicates here, the 0, 30. Okay? 0 small tables and 30 large tables. And then the 15, 20, that point right there indicates that you can have 15 small tables and 20 large tables. And the next one was 30, 10, so you can have 30 small tables, 10 large. Notice that we're picking points where the line intercepts the graph in the background perfectly. And then the last one, of course, is 45, 0. You could have 45 small tables and 0 large tables. So one of the things I don't think they did a nice job on here is labeling. They should have indicated that the x values, you notice, are all the small tables. So this should have been labeled small tables, and this one should have been labeled large. Okay, there we go. Anyways, just a little nitpicky detail. So overall, basically what we do is we get our x and y intercepts, we graph them, and we look for points along the line that intercept the grid lines in the background perfectly. And those give us our combinations that we're allowed to use. All right, I'm going to have you guys try out this question here. In one state, small bottles have a refund value of 4 cents each, and the large bottles have a refund value of 8 cents each. So your friend returns both small and large bottles and receives 56 cents. This situation is given by, and they give you the nice equation, where X is the number of small bottles. So on your graph, right away before you do anything else, this is your small bottles. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry about this. Small bottles. And then the Y value has to be your large bottles. Okay? And make sure you get your X and Y intercepts. And then find 3 possibilities along the line that you could use for a combination of small bottles and large bottles. Pause your video and give it a try. All right, so first of all, we need to find our intercepts. If we place a 0 in for X, what is Y? Of course, let me write it out so you guys can see it all. 4 times 0 plus 8Y equals 56, right? So we place a 0 in there. Our Y-intercept, oops, Y has to be, divide both sides by 8. Y is 7. Now, for the X-intercept, we have 4X, place a 0 in for the Y value. It's always the opposite one, equals 56. So we have 4X equals 56. Divide both sides by your 4. And so X equals 4, 16, 14. So we go along the X-axis and we go out to like, way out there at 14. And the Y was at 7, so if we put in 0, 7, so we go up 0, 7, so it'd be like probably like around here. All right, so there's one combination. At 0, 7, one combination. The other combination was 14, 0. That indicates 14 small tables, right? And no large tables. Or, I'm sorry, tables. What am I talking about? Bottles. And this one would be 0 small. Yes. Boy, this writing is really messy. I apologize. And 7 large. And then we have to have a graph. So let's take a look at actual graph and find one more. There we go. Get rid of this. And give 3 possibilities. So let's take a look. And grab this. Look in the background and see where it cuts off exactly. Like, what about right here? It cuts off exactly. So we could have 6 small bottles and 4 large bottles. We have another combination right here we could have used. 10 small bottles, 2 large. And does it cut off right here perfectly? It looks like it does. So 2 small bottles and 6 large bottles. So there's quite a few combinations that we could actually use. All right, so here we go. Those are just some sample answers. All right, have a great evening.